ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। 283 285 So the episode with our dear Parshuram ji went without an incident. Lakshman ji would keep challenging him and pushing him. And finally Ramji stepped in and showed his presence or prowess. And Parashuram ji was like, this is exactly what I was waiting for. And now that I see it happen, I think this avatar can now cease to exist. So he withdrew. As soon as he withdrew, our Janak Maharaj felt like a big stone removed off of his chest. That he was not much scared about the other kings that were creating unnecessary havoc, but he was definitely on the edge of his seat. That, why did I even have to, put through this? I shouldn't have. And he was questioning himself. And Lakshmanji was not putting him at any ease. Every statement that Lakshmanji was saying was like slipping off of his seat. And I'm imagining, oh, teri, see, in my head, the actual things that I imagine, sometimes Sishtachara stops me from saying. Otherwise, it would have been a hilarious moment to capture Janaka's candid moments. So he was relieved. Sita ji was also relieved. She must have clenched the Varamala that was exchanged, and now only the thread was remaining. No, it's my imagination, not that Tulsidas ji has said it. So she was also relieved. Now moving forward. देवनदीन्हि दुन्दुभि प्रभु पर बरसहि फूल हर्षे पुर नर नारी सब, मिटी मोहमय मूल. All the gods and others who were in their balconies of their Vimana, they were ecstatic that chalo, two avatars coming together. They understood each other, did not have to challenge each other. So everybody were happy and started playing different divine instruments. And definitely there was a sigh, big sigh of relief. Now Janaka was probably clenching his fist and could not express a lot of emotions when the dialogue was happening. And when Ramji also took a stern standpoint, then definitely he must have skipped a beat. And Sunaina Devi, she was always looking anyway cross-eyed at Janaka. That there was this boy and our girl and कर देते तो हो जाता थे तो तुम. And she was looking at him and he was not able to look at her straight because she was looking at him cross. So there was that was the VIP gallery expression. What was the ordinary folk, the economy class? So the economy class was like jumped out of their seats and baap re, and there's a sigh of relief. Harshe puranar nari sab mite moh maya sool, and all their pain and agony of their heart vanished away. Continuing. अति गह गहे बाजने बाजे, सब ही मनोहर मंगल साजे. जोत जोत मिली सुमुखी सुनयनी, करहि गान कल कोकिल बयनी. सुख विदेह कर बरनि न जाई, जन्म दरिद्र मनहु निधि पाई. Suddenly, when people are ecstatic in their ecstasy, to express their ecstasy, you don't know what all kinds of things they would do. They must have thrown their pagdi. I'm just visualizing here. So they must have thrown their pagdi. They must have been eating popcorn. They must have thrown it up. Or not popcorn. It is too westernized. Maybe a chane. They threw it into the air, and many of them had come prepped up with dhol, tasha, and dholki and everything. And there must have been some kind of a national rhythm, like when you go to a basketball game or something, there is a thumping sound. So one started, everybody pitched in, and one assumed to become the music director instantly and was guiding, तुम ये बजाओ, तुम वो बजाओ. And there was everybody was सब ही मनोहर मंगल साजे. And everybody there is somebody was wearing a bracelet of some bhagwan, and they looked at that bhagwan and then they did namaskar right there to that bhagwan. uh, Maybe the married woman took the mangal sutra. In those days they used to wear it. They took out the mangal sutra and then blessed, sought blessings of that lord right there. Various things. Somebody took out a wallet and there was the entire labyrinth of deities. So everybody looked at some auspicious sign, and maybe there was a temple somewhere nearby and everybody turned towards that direction and gave a prostration right there in absence, but in that direction. It does happen that when I'm like sitting in the hall and saying, when you go to the temple, when you go to the altar, some example is being given, I point at this mandir here. So not that it is visible, but it is pointed. So everybody turned towards. Or even here when they do the touchdown, everybody does point skywards, and with two index fingers they point upwards and thank heavenwardly. So they must have done some kind of mangalamaya saji. Juta juta mili sumukhi sunayani. Now here sunayani can be taken into two different levels. One, these different groups of people that were standing there, Sunayana Devi turned towards them, and you know, the queen cannot get up and start dancing to the beat there that she was relieved. It is not appropriate for the queen to do so, and she danced with her eyes as though looked at the and looked at them and gave the sigh of relief. Or the second one, all the beautiful ladies with beautiful eyes, they all juta juta. Probably this is more appropriate here, that they all came together and they instantly broke into a dance. And I'm guessing after so much of tension, the dance must have been pretty primitive. Not a well choreographed dance, but a very primitive release of all that uh, tension that they were going through, anxiety that they were going through. Juta juta mili sumukhi sunayani, karahi gana kala kokila bayani. And they started singing to express their relief. We, when Gurudev attained Mahasamadhi in 93, we were about 50, 60 chicks from Yuva Kendra members from Hyderabad, who all booked a ticket. Many of us didn't even book the ticket, jumped into the train and purchased the ticket when the ticket collector came in. We didn't have time, we just jumped in. And it was quite a painful moment for all of us. And prior 4 5 years, Gurudev, wherever his program got cancelled, he would give it to Hyderabad, and there would be a yearly his coming too. So there were at least 2 to 3 visits of Gurudev every year. So there was more of an attachment that most of the camps in 4 5 years, we would go at least 2 camps. So 2 camps and then 2 visits, and if he's coming to a nearby place, go drop in there also. So we had grown quite attached to Gurudev, and suddenly that missing. This was a boisterous group. We would break into songs, and we were camp. We had 2 compartments full, about 120 people uh, singing, and this was a very uh, you know silent, quiet. Nobody would be able to speak to anyone. There were so many in tears. And finally we went, saw Gurudev's Mahasamadhi, and everything was done. We were coming back, and still that air of some pressure, that missing feeling, we all felt. And we were almost, the train had almost entered into Andhra. So we got down to have morning cup of tea or coffee. And imagine, all 40 50 of us were not in the compartment, but we were on the platform. And a group of us, about 15 20 of us, were having already purchased our teas. We were standing there, and out of lot of that pain, Everybody was saying a shloka or two which they liked of Gurudev or something they were remembering. So this person, he is a very nice hearted, but Sanskrit and shlokas were not his forte. But he wanted to say something, and then he suddenly blurts out loud. If it was just under his breath as a whisper, it would have been different case. But he blurted it loud, and he was expressing his uh, feelings or anxiety or missing, or and then he says, "Namami Krishna Samharam," and up until then we were like a serious bunch of with lot of emotions and that laughter, because there is no shloka with those words, and if you try understanding the meaning, you would not want to understand the meaning. I bow down to that who killed Krishna. It made no sense, but it gave such a sudden relief for everybody that for the next 5 6 hours until we reached Hyderabad, we were all like repeating that sentence, looking at him, laughing out loud. And if somebody outside would come and see, it would not make sense as to why this bunch of them are laughing for 5 6 hours. It's just that pressure was out. So most probably these ladies also were like, and though not that pathetic, like that fellow chanted the so-called shloka, they were in beautiful voices. They broke out into nice songs. It's a sense of relief being expressed. सुख विदेह कर बरन न जाई, जन्म दरिद्र मनहु निधि पाई. सुख विदेह, Videha, Janaka Maharaj, the sigh of relief that he had, probably there was a pillow next to him and he was punching that pillow. Yes, 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 finally. So his tensions all was, how did he feel? Like Janma Daridra, somebody who is poorest of the poorest of the poor, suddenly found a immense amount of wealth that he comes to own. So the kind of joy that he would feel, like he would, if it is gold coins and a lot of malas, and probably wear all those malas. Not that it would make any combination sense. Wear all those golden ornaments, throw these gold coins in the air, only to realize that when it falls in your head, it is going to hurt. So if I were to describe that this particular line, then I would immediately take Janaka Maharaj into shambles, wearing ragged cloth like a beggar, and enter into this big mansion full of wealth, and he doing all this. So that was a kind of relief, that somebody who for generations have lived under poverty suddenly finds this immeasurable wealth. Continuing. विगत त्रास भई सिय सुखारी, जन विधु हृदय कोर कुमारी, जनक कीन्हि कही पनामा, प्रभु प्रसाद धनु भंजऊ रामा. Can we turn these lights off? Thank you. I don't know why it was glaring, or I couldn't even read the words. Janaka Keen Kausika, no, before that is Sita Maya. Sita Maya, she also was relieved. I mean, her heart skipped not a beat. It got revived as though when Parashuramji left, it had stopped beating. And and it says, how did she feel when the Chakora Pakshi? I'm yet to see the Chakora Pakshi, but the Chakora Pakshi, they say, does not drink water throughout the year, but during a certain season, the full moon, the dew drops of those full moon is what it waits for. So for a year long period, not drinking water, have somebody thirsty drinks that water, how do they feel? That relieved, that relieved that Sitaji was. All the trasa, mental torture that she was going through, manasik atyachar, she was relieved from. Then Janakaji poised himself and went to Rishi Vishwamitraji and then prostrated to him. And he was so relieved and so thankful that probably he did not get up. I mean, this is all my imagination. And Vishwamitra ji must have said, ऐसे सो मत जाना, उठ भी जाओ. Don't just lie there and fall asleep. Get up now. I know you, the sense of relief that you feel. I can sense it. I can feel it. Can you continue the next sentence? Osai Mon नाथ प्रवीणा रहा विवाह जाप आधीना टूटत ही मनु भयउ विबाहु सुर नर काग विदित सब काहू. So as he rose up from the feet of Vishwamitraji, he said, I am so relieved, but what next? What next? क्या है? शादी कराओ? So he says, Kaha Muni sun Naranath Pravina. O king, O dear king, the moment Bhagwan Ramchandra ji broke that bow and they exchanged the Varamala, Vivaha for all practical reasons was already done. That was not engagement. And engagement is not even our pratha. There is no exchange of rings and other things as our pratha. This is a Western influence. There is something called Nishchaya Tambula or Roka in, I think, Gujarati or North India, they call it Roka or Rokna, depending on where they are from. It is saying now both of them are off the market. And they exchange the wedding invitations, and what should go in the wedding invitation, the muhurta and other things, that is fixed. And that is done on an auspicious day. And today it is all going haywire with some from Christian influence, some from Islam influence, some from here. Everything is added in. Well, anyways, so it says the moment they exchanged, he broke the bow and they exchanged the Varamala, marriage is done. Now, officially, you have to perform the rest of the rituals. That has to be done. So he says, Kaha muni raha vivah chap adhina टूटत ही धनु भयउ विबाहु, सुर नर नाग vidit sab kahu. All the gods of the heaven, all these people that are here, they are the witness for that moment that has already occurred. तदपि जाय तुम करहु अब, जथा वंश व्यवहारो, बूझी विप्रकुल वृद्ध गुरु, वेद विदित आचार. Now today the traditions have also changed. Not that I am an expert at that particular field, I have no experience even for once. But the tradition in those days was that the marriage ceremony should be performed according to the girl's customs, because they are the ones who are uh, performing or arranging for that marriage. All the arrangements are borne by the girl side, and it is according to their customs that the marriage is celebrated. In today's world, that becomes a big issue. Our sampradaya versus your sampradaya. The simple thing is, the girl's side, they are giving, the kanya dana is being done by the girl's side. Therefore, it is their right to perform their the marriage according to their customs, and the boys' side have to comply accordingly. Hint, hint, for all those of you who have girls. Also, boys, what is the actual achara? Then he says it is not just your custom, but it is also that which is ordained by the scriptures. Veda vidita achar. So, whatever are ordained by the scriptures, follow accordingly, arrange accordingly for the marriage, for the entire process to be uh, seamlessly arranged. And then he says, not just that, I think these are the order of things that have to be put in place. First, दूत अवधपुर पठवहि जाई, आनहि नृप दशरथ ही बोलाई, मुदित राह कहि भलई कृपाला, पठय दूत बोलिते ही बाला, काला सॉरी, ते ही काला, बहुरी महाजन सकल बोलाए, आई सशन सदर सिर नाये, हाट बाट मंदिर सुरबासा, नगर सवारहूँ चारी हूँ पासा. So first, दूत बुलाओ, bring all the uh, messengers. Yes, to all your relatives and others, send them the personal invitation. There were no printing press in those days, and there was definitely no email or WhatsApp group. Family, marriage fixed, come, confirm RSVP, done. So all that they had to do was, the scribes were called for, and they were dictated the letter, and Janaka's wrist must have really been swollen by now, because he had to sign all those, and roll that vivaha patrika and put the lacquer on it, and put the Raja Muhur seal, and then rush it with, in those days there were these messengers that would carry the fast news on fast horses, and if it is a long distance, they would have a different posts, exchange horses, that they would ride this horse up until that point, get down and grab to the next horse, and the poor fellow, until he reaches to the destination, has no rest. So they would ride. I was told of a family that used to supply mangoes to Akbar and the Mughals afterwards from Vijayawada. So it would reach Delhi in 2.5 days. Where is Vijayawada? Where is Delhi? And these mangoes would be rush delivered. So this is with weight in 2.5 days. Now imagine with the horses in different posts already waiting, the messenger must have reached quicker than expected. Plus, it was not like a burden on him. He really felt happy himself of such a great occasion and he delivering such news that probably he that enhanced the enthusiasm in him, enhanced the process. So the messenger was sent. And then Anahi Nrupa Dasaratha hi bolai. See, I am not actually the designated person to do his vivaha. I am only the custodian, I am only the guardian. Now, Dasharatha on his hand did not protest saying, मेरा बेटा है तू कौन होता है गुरु उसका शादी फिक्स करने वाला I have to find the right. No, there was enough trust. So Dasharath ji, call him, call his entire extended family, call all the queens personally. Their, I mean, the entire and what's one common message to entire Ayodhya Puri, inviting all of them as well. So Dasharatha, his family, and the entire kingdom invite them for the wedding. Now, wedding is performed, I mean, here it is Avatar himself, so it is a different case. But then the weddings are performed by inviting all these guests, not much for the glow and display, but it was more for inviting that many people, numbers, so many people, all the extended ones, so that the blessings would be strong on those couple. And today it is like, I don't want an elaborate wedding, and just few people, few from that side, few from this side, destination wedding. So, 5 6 of your family, 5 6 of our family, and then we go to a destination and get married. Baba, the trupti that comes when you feed, and the ashisha, the blessings that come from such so many people, those blessings are what matters. And that is why they would invite not just, I mean, if it was a wedding in a town or a village in those days, it was not just the wedding of one family happening in one family. Entire village would be participating. The carpenter, the goldsmith, the blacksmith, the ones taking care of the cows and the cattle, and everyone in the village. It would be a festivity for entire village. It's not just one family, chota sa marriage done. No. Now when it is at a king's level, definitely the entire Mithila Nagari would be there. His entire kingdom would be there. Ayodhya Nagari would also come. His brother, whose Dasharatha's brother was Kashi Raja. So Kashi Raja had to be invited, and Janaka's own brother had to be invited. The entire kingdoms. So imagine to feed them all. We are talking about hundreds and thousands of people. To feed them all, they must have gigantic preparations. that there would be hundreds of cooks only for breakfast, that they cook breakfast and then prep for next breakfast. There would be one whole kitchen meant for the lunch sessions. There would be one whole kitchen meant for the dinner. Then one whole thing only to make chai. I don't know if there was chai in those days or not, but one whole kitchen meant only for such, and one kitchen meant for snacks. 24 hours available. Food bar open 24 hours. Rushing here and there, going in and out. And at least growing up, when we would attend weddings, uh, the kids were like worse than rodent. They would eat anything available there. And when I see the kids in today's, "Oh, I want this. Allergy, I can understand. Allergy, I can understand. It is just the over pampered environment. Ours was not like, whatever was there, it was fruit that would be emptied out. Whether it was any snack that would be emptied out, going in and out, playing around, so that was to be prepared. So, being a foodie, my mind went only to kitchen. There are other arrangements. What are the other arrangements? मुदित राव कहीं भले ही कृपाला, पठय दूत बोली तेहि काला, बहुरी महाजन सकल बुलाए, आई सबन सादर सिर नाए. There were different kinds of people that were called for. Masons were called, architects were called, there were, you know, people who make saris were called, people who make ornaments were called, decorators were called. So Mahajana, those who are in those particular fields, call them all. Arrange for revamping this entire city fit for this marriage. Jatha Shakti, like whatever is your capacity, accordingly fix. Haat baat mandir suravasa, nagar savarahum charahi pasa. In all directions, the entire city to be decked as if it was your own house. So, free paint to all the city walls, wash and clean up everything, and paint them, decorate them. So, order for all those people. Continuing. हर्षि चले निज निज गृह आए, पुनि परिचारक बोली पठाए, रचहु विचित्र बितान बनाई, सिर धरि बचन चले सचुपाई, पठये बोली गुणी तिन नाना, जो बेतान विधि कुशल सुजाना, विधि ही बंदिति न दीन आरंभा, बिरचे कनक गदली के कंबा. So all these different artisans were called in. Now I am imagining from their direction that they had already teamed up, that this is going to be a big event. Though when if the not if when the exam, the test is passed and the suitable one is selected, we would all be called for arrangements. So they were already having committee meetings, subcommittee meetings, group meetings, design meetings. So everybody was already sort of prepping up. Now all of them were called for. All of them called, and then परिचारक बोली पठाए, रचहु विचित्र वितान बनाई. He said, make the arrangements in such a way that people could not have imagined such. Sky is the limit. Your imaginations should be unique. Now, in the name of uniqueness, don't do dumb things. Sometimes it does happen that you go there and it feels like it is not unique. It is pathetic. No, it has to be something unique, something spectacular. Vichitra, spectacular. And all these people, Siridhari Bachan Chale Sachupai. All of them bowed down and said, don't worry, we are already on the task, we will have it done. Now, as soon as the instructions went out for all this prep work arrangement to be done, the city was laid down with Kanaka Kadali ke Kambha. It is whenever there is auspicious, uh, the length and breadth of India, the banana plant cut just about few inches above the root usually decorates that threshold, that entrance, wherever the function is happening. Now, the entire city is the mandapa. And what kind of arrangements were made? It says, Kanaka Kadali ke Kamba. So, the descriptions have already started that the city was decorated with unique kind of designed uh, banana plant made of kanaka, gold, and they were already being installed everywhere. Now, in marriages, I know when you go, there are certain important things, precious things. Though it is on display, there is already some chachi who is always. So she is posted there. Chachi, dekhte rehna. And the chachi gets special supplies there. She gets her special chai there. She gets her special thing there. A very prominent position. Now look at here. These are not the internal mandapa. The streets were decked up with the banana plant made of gold. How much would have been the prosperity just at the economic standpoint? How much would have been the GDP that the streets were filled with gold? And I'm glad the celebrities in those times were not pseudo intellectuals who would say, stop wasting water because it is holy. Stop wasting national wealth. Marriage, go to a temple, finish it off, and all that which you are displaying. It was a moment not just where the wedding would happen, it would be a moment to churn the economy so that even the lowest of the low, who are already rich to today's comparison, would be getting benefits from this particular event. Continuing. हरित मनिन्ह के पत्र फल पद्म राग के फूल रचना देखी विचित्र अति मनु विरंचि कर भूल. The khamba, the main stump of the banana was made of gold. The leaves, can you imagine the big leaves of the banana? They were made of emerald. Arre wah. Some of these designer Swarovski, So they have these colored gems and they make small miniatures and they go skyrocketing price. Now here, the entire streets of Mithila Nagari were filled with this Kanakastamba, and the leaves of the banana were made of carved out of emerald. Can you imagine the amount of emerald that would be required? Once I was seeing, I was intrigued. A Westerner's take on Mahabharata. They have made a movie, a long movie, a three series of it. And the way they show is the entire Hastinapura was like in a cave, a settlement. Yeah, that is how they show that the king had barely a pagdi which was embroidered, and the rest of them wore pagdi which did not have any embroidery, dull colors. The king wore bright colors. And that was the kind of portrayal that India would not have been, Bharatavarsha would not have been that wealthy. Here is the wealth and description into their faces. Le. The streets were filled with these banana stumps made out of gold, and the leaves were made of emerald, and um, the fruits hanging. The if you have seen the fruit how it is structured, the top ones are turning little yellowish, the middle ones are still green, and the lower bottom there is a conical shaped red color with yellow dots. So all that was being designed with precious stones. So the yellow fruits that were hanging, uh, resembling the banana, was made out of Padmaraga. Padmaraga, I don't know how to, pinkish yellowish hue. So that was the bananas made of. Rachan, I mean, this is just one sample taken. Like this, the entire city was studded with unique decorations that were evergreen. That it would not find replacements and other things. No replacements. This was way before marriage. It would go through the marriage and even after the marriage. That it would remain flawless. And those were designed. This was the just the outer description. As you go inside, बेनु रहित मणिमय सब दीन है, सरल सपरब परहि नहीं चीन है, कनक कलित अहि बेली जनाई, लिखि नहीं परई सपरन सुहाई, तेहि के रचि पचि बंध पनाए, मुकुता दाम सुहाए. In the earlier one, Padmaraga means a ruby. So in the earlier one, Rachna Dekhi Birinchi. Birinchi, the creator himself, was like, I did not imagine that the creation could be decorated so beautifully. All his four jaws dropped. Yeah, four-headed, quad processor. The bamboo sticks were made of emerald, and they were so straight and knotted and with the naturality of it that you could not make out whether it was real or it was the emerald. Sometimes when you go to these houses, they have beautiful floral decoration as the centerpiece on their uh, center. What do you call that? Table? Center table. Oh, center table, center table, center table. So center table. That you almost go there and pinch it and see, not real. right? These are made out of the plastic and resin and other materials. Here they are being carved out of emeralds, ruby, and other material, and the people would still be confused. Is it real bamboo and or is it something different? So imagine the wealth, and it is not like small pieces. To carve an entire banana leaf out of emerald, can you imagine what kind of mines that they must be digging it out of? And to be able to afford that for entire city? Wow. कनक कलित अहि बेली बनाई, लिख नहीं परई सपरन सुहाई. The betel leaves were carved out. Now you're talking about making mango toran and betel leaf toran. No, here betel leaf creepers were carved and etched out on these bamboos. I should, the imagination of Tulsidas ji is also commendable. And on those, there were, to bring variation, there were the creepers going on the betel nut palm. And the betel nuts were big sized pearls, which had that unpolished brownish hue, which looked like the betel nut, areca nut. So the betel leaf creepers, the betel nut, and then continuing. Can you continue with the next line, please? चीर ओरी पची सरोजा किए भृंग बहुरंग विहंगा गुंजहि कूजहि पवन प्रसंगा. Continue. सुर प्रतिमा वन घटिकाड़ी मंगल द्रव्य लिए सब ठाड़ी. माति अनेक पुराई सिंदूर मणिमय सहज सुहाई. Wow. It says, माणिक मरकत कुलिस पिरोजा चीरी कोरी पची रचे सरोजा. There were ponds here and there were ponds, and the ponds were carved out of turquoise. Can you imagine? The ponds were not filled with water. The ponds were carved out of turquoise, and on that the leaves of the lotuses with emerald and marakata. How do you translate marakata? It's emeralds, marakata. The emeralds were the leaves. The rubies. No, it is green. The rubies were etched into or carved into lotuses. No, go wild. Definitely CNN, BBC, Fox would have stated it as luxurious, lavish waste of wealth and display. When Oscars and other things happen, when those kinds of displays happen, it is not a waste. I'm just giving a side commentary on today's mindset. Imagine the luxury. Kiye bhrunga bahu ranga bihanga. There were the bees, different kinds of birds, also made out of different kinds of uh, precious stones. And then he says, Gunjahi kujahi pavana prasanga. When the air, breeze flows, the bees start making humming sound. They were carved in such a way that it was not just the appearance. I don't know if you have, I have had the opportunity in the villages. There were the wooden carved birds and things that were sold. So we had to fill it up with water, and you blow it like a whistle, and it starts making that pakshi sound. I don't know if I still have that collection somewhere. So it would sound like a sparrow. It would sound like a cockadil, cockerel. Huh. The hen sounds and the squirrel sounds. It's all with the air blowing and the water in there. So they have designed it in such a way that the wind blows and the bees start humming. The birds start making chirping sounds. Different kinds of feathers and different birds, and the wind blowing through them, it would make those sounds. Gunjahi kujahi pavana prasanga, sura pratima khambana gadi khadi. All these different gods and deities, they were the main pillars, and in those main pillars they were carved of gold, as if somebody was really standing there. मंगल द्रव्य लिए सब ढाटी, चौके भांति अनेक पुराई, सिंधुर मणिमय सहज सुहाई. The this is all the walls. The floor was designed equally elaborate. When they have not left anything to be imagined. And probably Janaka said, this is my daughter's wedding, and my entire collection would be used for the decorations. Thank you. So the marriage happens 323rd Doha. Okay. So until then, there are all these descriptions, people coming, their descriptions. So I was told that she is making sweets for every week in anticipation of marriage. I don't mind it, but I'm just letting you know that it will take that while. Oh no, nothing today. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.